Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late here. Having a few little technical issues, not issues. And a cat who really, really, really wanted to get in. If anyone knows my cat Zara, he is very insistent when he wants to come in the door. He's like, ow, scratch, scratch. So that had to happen. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Josie. And hello, Nikki. And I have my friend Dali here. And I have some people coming along who are going to be watching us on Twitter, I believe, at some point. Not sure if I've shared it out to Twitter yet. I am going to. Now, today is going to be epic, and I'm going to go and bring on my friend Dali. Hello, my
Hey.
co-host Dali. Hello.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. So today is going to be, yes, as I said, epic. We have our court review, our week 1 catch-up of the defamation trial of Lehrmann versus Network 10. Now, once again on Twitter, we have Lehrmann trending. Oh, hello, cat. We have two cats. Two cats trending. I just said the cat's trending. My brain today. I have been up late working on this. Absolutely. And I have been watching this trial. Hello, cat. Cat B. I have cat A.
Yes.
Cat B.
Boo, for frick's sakes.
Cat A, cat B. Get it? Category A, category B. It's all over the place. It's a professional production.
Very.
Can everyone hear me okay? I know that I
you.
made a video yesterday and you could not hear me very well. And I don't know if it was because my hair was all over my microphone or what. That does happen from time to time. Okay, so let's get into it. Please, oh, hey, Wilhelm.
Hey, buddy.
5 by 5, what does that mean? Not sure. It might be an audio thing. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is, because I have been watching the trial, which is, by the way, on the Australian Federal Court website. Oh, sorry, no, is on the Federal Court of Australia YouTube channel. And I will be sharing the link to that. In fact, Dali, would you mind having a look? Or Josie, you are in mod too. Would you mind, please, whilst I'm going through this presentation, because I'm going to be quite distracted, having a look for the link to that, because the link is already up to today's court proceedings. If you would like to watch the court proceedings, and they are good, if you want to watch a live trial in Australia, it is worth watching this, everybody. It's extremely interesting, and you'll be able to see a live defamation trial that is very high profile, very interesting. If you don't know the background of this case, you can go onto my channel and you can see the background video that I made and dropped yesterday that shows a very quick timeline of the Lehrmann situation, which is titled, again, Lehrmann, actually called Bruce Lehrmann and Brittany Higgins, a timeline of events. And it's only a 25-minute video, quick and easy to digest, and you can watch that and be all ready to view the trial and all of its glory. The reason I cannot share with you the actual trial and sit here with Dali and other friends is because there is a court order to not rebroadcast the proceedings, unfortunately. Hello, David. How are you? I hope you're well today. Okay, so this is the link to the court proceedings today. go over there and press the notification button and sit and relax and watch it later on. I think it's about 3-4 hours away from now. So that will be, if you're in the US, it'll be tonight for you.
3 hours.
Yeah, so 3 hours away. For me, it's going to be starting later in my morning. Boo fake government rulings. Well, it is the government for me, and
Yeah.
I certainly am not going to be going against the government.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong, indeed. Yes, but do get on there and have a watch, because it is extremely interesting. And what I am going to say is that the lawyers in this case are guns. They're top shelf defamation lawyers.
There was, I saw like 5 minutes of Cross yesterday.
On the plaintiff, yes.
Yeah, on YouTube,
Yeah.
on their channel when it was live, and
On-
yeah, they were very good.
They were having a go at him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been grilled for a few days, and it's nasty. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through with you a little bit today of the kind of things that they've been putting him through.
very good lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
I would not want to be him right now.
No, he's having a hard time. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go and have a bit of a look through what's been happening over the last few days and get ourselves ready and strapped in, because there's going to be a few weeks of this, and I'd also like to enjoy with you people watching it, not watching it with, but watching it alongside you guys and following it for the next couple of weeks. So let's get into it. So firstly, before we get moving, just want to remind you guys of some of the major players in this. So Lehrmann is obviously our plaintiff, and he is the accused. So that's him at the top there. And he was accused of SA or grape by Ms. Higgins. And that is this lady here on the right. Right before I even started, I should have done this. Yes, it's a content warning. So if people don't like to hear about things like that, then obviously you can step away from this. And I am not providing any legal advice. And the presentation is commentary only, all those sorts of things. I'm not a lawyer. Do I look like one? No. My cat. Okay, moving on. Now, Ms. Wilkinson here is also being sued. She is another defendant and a reporter. Network 10 is her employer, and this is the defendant we're speaking about here. But Miss Wilkinson is in court, and she has her own counsel. The defendant, Network 10, is the network that facilitated her interview with the witness accuser, Ms. Higgins. And there is another reporter involved, Samantha Maiden, over here on the right. She put out a news article on the exact same day that the interview with Brittany Higgins went to air, stating that a parliamentary staffer was raped in Parliament House. So that all happened on the exact same day. And then Ms. Reynolds was the defence minister at the time. She is their former boss and politician. Ms. Cash, also a former boss and politician. Ms. Higgins moved to her employ after leaving Ms. Reynolds' employ. And the ABC was also a defendant, but they have settled. So there was some other media stuff that happened, which Mr. Lehrmann was not too happy about. So those are just the main players that may come up throughout these proceedings. ABC, not so much. They have settled. So just so people are aware. Okay, moving on. Now, So if this all started on day one was Wednesday of last week. There is Mr. Lehrmann going to court with his main counsel, and that is Stephen Wybrow. He's actually been trending a bit on Twitter this week. He, again, very, very competent counsel. And he's walking there with Mr. Wybrow. But when the opening statements were done by Matthew Richardson SC, his other counsel. So SC stands for Senior Counsel. So on day one, the opening statements were done by Matthew Richardson. There were only opening statements done by the plaintiff. I did not see any opening statements done by the defense. Hello, David. What's this? You have failed to address the first issue. Why I need answered before I start judging this guy. Is he on the correct side politically? I'll tell you who the other side is on. Okay, yeah, no, he's a conservative. He was a rising star in what's called our Liberal Party, which is a conservative.
Over there, or
yeah,
over here.
Yeah,
okay.
He was considered a rising star in that party. Yeah. But he wasn't. Let's say that. Okay, let's go back a little bit. So it wasn't about. He was an administrator, right? So, and this became political, right? So he was working in Parliament House, and it was turned into something political. But he was working as an administrator, right? But people turned it into him being a rising star in what's called our Liberal Party, which is the conservative side, and that was turned that way by the leftist publications. Yeah. So, and one of the exhibits actually is a leftist publication coming out and saying, unmasked, the Liberal Party toff, who is the guy who is named as the one who left this lady on the couch in Parliament House. So, and I'm paraphrasing, but there is actually an article in the exhibits by this publication. So they call him the Liberal Party toff, and I'll go back again. I'll say Liberal Party is our Conservative Party. So people have said over and over again this was a political football, and even to this day, when people are talking about this case, they keep referencing it as #Auspol, which is Australian politics. My take on the matter is, how is this political? People turned it political. It's just because it happened in Parliament House doesn't make it political. It is two people who happen to work in an organization that happens to be like the White House, I suppose. But everyone made it that it happens to it is a government cover-up, right? And in my opinion, if you're working in any organization, there would be some sort of trying to keep people's names in some way private, and keeping the accusee and the accuser some privacy about it until and then trying to make sure that it was all dealt with in a very it would be a difficult situation to deal with. And I don't think many companies know how to deal with these things properly. So yeah, and then of course there's lots of mudslinging between the two parties and their supporters as to, oh, you did it wrong, oh, there's this culture of toxicity and masculinity and la. So it really blew up, and then the media got involved. So yeah, that's my opinion on it, that it got turned into something political when it needn't have been. If it had been in any other workplace, of course, it wouldn't have turned into something political. David, if he's a conservative, he's not guilty. Well, he's not been proven guilty of anything. So as far as I'm concerned, he's not guilty. All right. That's the only reason, not because of any political reason. Okay. So in the opening statements, and yes, I only saw opening statements by his counsel. I did not see any opening statements by the defense at all. So perhaps that's just how it works in Australian civil cases, or maybe it's just how it sometimes works in civil cases or defamation cases in general. People weigh in on that. I'm no expert. So Richardson, his counsel, discussed Lisa Wilkinson's introduction to the episode of Network 10's The Project, aired in February 2021. Now, I've shown this a couple times. I've had a what do you call it? A copyright warning, not a strike. So I'm not going to be showing it again. Now, from the episode, and so this is a quote, Wilkinson said, "Claims of rape, roadblocks to a police investigation, and a young woman forced to choose between her career and the pursuit of justice, and it all happened right here in the heart of our democracy." So that was Wilkinson's introduction to the interview, which she put forth that night. Mr. Richardson summarised in reference to the broadcast, Ms. Higgins is portrayed in an entirely positive way. Essentially, she is canonised by the program with Ms. Wilkinson. She has held up as an epitome of truthfulness and decency. Not a scintilla of doubt is applied to any aspect of her complaint or allegations. Right, so there you go. Lehrmann's counsel spelling out in great detail how it was put forth in that interview on the project in February 2021 that it was very clear in Mr. Lehrmann's mind, and as far as he's concerned in the public's mind, that these allegations were true. Moving on. So also in the opening statements, oh, I've got two things there. That's weird. I'll just fix that. In my Canva, I did this late at night, and I'm just going to present that again. Hello. There we go. Yeah, you see, I can fix it. Okay, so in the entire interview with Brittany Higgins by Lisa Wilkinson, the entire interview was played in court, and as it appeared on Network 10's The Project in February 2021. So the interview was by Wilkinson, it was with Higgins, and it was on Network 10. And that was the one that I've shown you the screen grab before, and it said in quotes, "I told him to stop," and Parliament House bombshell is how it worked. All right, moving on. So also in the opening statements, Richardson went on to question the credibility of the client's accuser. So this is Brittany Higgins, and he said, "It may be, and this might not have been the best look, I'm not sure, right? But remember, this is a bench trial, right? So it is, the judge is going to be making the decision. If this were a jury trial, no, I don't know how well this would go down." So he said, "It may be readily accepted there is no perfect victim and that confusion may occur, but a delay in reporting and significantly changed and objectively false statements are also consistent with a false complaint." Victims who fabricate allegations do this as well. Yeah, moving on. Okay, so not sure whether or not, yeah, again, if counsel had said that in front of a jury, I'm not sure how well that statement might have gone down. That whole victims who fabricate.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know. Not sure. But yeah, look, she has changed her story quite a lot over the couple of years. And yes, she didn't report immediately and all those sorts of things. But yeah, there is no perfect victim. What's the perfect victim of these things? So, but then he goes on to cast out on her. So, don't know about that. Righto. Okay, so also on day one. So then we went straight into witnesses, and there weren't many witnesses until we got to Mr. Lehrmann getting onto the witness stand. Now, this is not a picture of the first witness. I just went and got a little bit of a profile of a lady. It's not okay for me to show the witness that was on the stand. But her name is Carly Abbott, and she's a parliamentary advisor. And the reason she was on the stand was because the plaintiff wanted her to speak about the fact that she found out about this, and it was very obvious to her also from her conversations with people in the office that it was Mr. Lehrmann, right? So she didn't need to be told the name to find out, to know that it was him, right? So she was a colleague, and there was like a rumor mill, and it was very obvious once that article came out and once the news report came out that it was him. Okay, so Ms. Abbott's testimony was mostly focused on conversations she had with another former colleague, Ben Dillaway, on the day Ms. Higgins' allegations were published online on February 15, 2021. She explained she heard a rumour that there was an incident involving Ms. Higgins and Mr. Lehrmann, but she didn't necessarily believe the rumour mill. Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, who is the counsel for Network 10, said, at 8:20 a.m., at the time you received a text from Mr. Dillaway and he sent you a link to a story and you responded with, what the fuck? Ms. Abbott agreed. So there was a text sent to her. And Dr. Collins is actually Network 10's main counsel. And I think I referred to this in Hearsay for Days the other day. He wrote the book on defamation law in Australia, or one of the books. And he's the one that we were talking about just before, Dali, about how he's grilling Lehrmann at the moment.
Yeah.
So he also grilled this witness for a little while, and Ms. Abbott said she knew the texting was referring to Mr. Lehrmann because he was a friend of hers in Parliament. Dr. Collins quoted Mr. Dillaway's next message saying, "It was your mate." So the witness was asked to confirm. Sorry, I'll go back. We'll go back. So Dr. Collins quoted Mr. Dillaway's next message saying, "It was your mate." Like, in a minute. We have. Where are we? We have. The testimony about this. Yes, right. So she didn't believe it until she saw a text from her colleague, and then once she saw this text and she read an article, and because she'd already seen the news report on the Friday night, then she put two and two together. And she was like, okay. Now, there was also another witness, David McDonald. Now, the plaintiff brought David McDonald up on the stand, and all they asked him to do was to confirm his affidavit. So let's have a little bit of a look at his affidavit, shall we? Now, his affidavit is right there on the website to be viewed. Now, he is an old family friend of the Lehrmanns. And he just confirmed his affidavit straight up. And he said that on the evening of 15th of February 2021, together with his wife, he watched from, I'll bring this up. Together with my wife, I watched from our home by television broadcast the Project program, which contained an interview by Lisa Wilkinson of Brittany Higgins, the broadcast. I'm aware that Bruce has instituted these proceedings for defamation over the broadcast. I noticed that in the broadcast, Ms. Higgins alleged that she had been essayed in Canberra by a former colleague. I took the reference in the broadcast to the former colleague to be Bruce because, A, the broadcast stated that the former colleague was a male advisor to Minister Reynolds, and I knew that Bruce used to work in Canberra as an advisor to Minister Reynolds. The broadcast stated that the former colleague had previously worked for Minister Reynolds in her prior Home Affairs portfolio, and I knew that Bruce had also worked for Minister Reynolds in the previous portfolio. The broadcast stated that the former colleague had left Minister Reynolds' employ in March 2019, and that he thereafter obtained a job in Sydney, and I knew that Bruce had stopped working in Parliament House in early 2019, and that he had moved to work and live in Sydney. I recall that during the broadcast, I said to my wife words to the effect, "That has to be about Bruce." Guess it does.
Yeah.
A day or two after the broadcast, I recall that I spoke with a friend of mine, Peter Shriek, and I said to him words to the following effect: "Did you see the Project show on TV? Looks like Bruce is in a bit of a strife." But he is. Prior to the broadcast of 15th of February 21, amongst the persons I mixed with, including business and property investors, self-employed persons, friends and others, Bruce had a reputation of being professional, hardworking and loyal. To my recollection, no one ever had a bad thing to say about him. Sworn by the deponent on 27th of July 2023, before me, signed by witness, blah, 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 blah. Right, so there you go.
Be right back.
You're up. All right, so back to this. Cool. Right, so that witness, that is David McDonald, he confirmed that he had known Lehrmann since he was approximately 12 years old. And in February 2021, a friend urged him to watch the project. And the reason that he was being urged to watch that the project that night was because they were claiming that some Polly had jumped the fence. That means a politician, right? So he thought that there was something going on with a politician, and that was why it was interesting. Hello, Hayden Harris. No, they're not though, Hayden Harris. It all sounds like it because our Conservative Party is called Liberal. Actually, that's not true. We have a Conservative Party called my mind's gone blank now. We have the Nationals, our National Party, but they are in coalition with our Liberal Party, so they're all one. And Melissa, oh, sorry. Hello, Snills. Good to see you. Good to see you. Excellent. Okay, so moving on. So yes, that man, I was just reading his affidavit, David McDonald. So he was saying that yeah, the reason he was watching was because some poly had jumped the fence, meaning a politician had gone across, maybe moved to a different political party, something like that. So that was the reason he was watching. When barrister Sue Crisanto questioned him, the witness insisted that he had no prior knowledge of the allegations before watching the interview that evening. Right. So Sue Crisanto is one of the defendants' counsel. Okay, moving on. So basically, what came out of that witness testimony was that he, an old family friend of Lehrmann's, found out about this whole thing because of the interview on the project. And before that, he thought that Lehrmann was an upstanding man. Probably still thinks he's an upstanding man, but he found out about it all and he knew very, very well that they were talking about Bruce. It was not of any kind of he didn't have to like put two and two together at all. It was very, very obvious. Okay, moving on. Why am I suddenly getting these black lines around? When I go and change from one thing to another, I get these black lines. It's very annoying to me. I'm a graphic designer. Everything should be nice and clean. Okay. These things bother me, people. All right. So also on day one, so after all that happened, we went and got Mr. Lehrmann up on the stand. And it was a big deal. This is the first time he's actually been a witness in a trial of his own. That's it. Like he didn't testify at his criminal trial. And obviously that criminal trial was aborted and there was never going to be another one. So that was that. The only time we really heard him speak was in that Seven Spotlight interview. And finally, he gets up, and this is at the trial that he brought, this defamation trial. So Wednesday afternoon, 2:22 p.m., Lehrmann takes the stand. He discusses the aftermath of the interview on the project airing in February 2021. He says, I recall logging into my social media accounts to shut them down because of the media furor, Lehrmann said. And he's being questioned by his main counsel, that's Stephen Wybrow, senior counsel. That's him there on the right. Now, his barrister, Stephen Wybrow, then took him through a number of tweets and articles that named him as Miss Higgins' alleged rapist. Hey, Sean Bird, how's it going? Nice to see you. Okay, let's have a look at what we're talking about. Alrighty, Exhibit 7. By the way, this is all available to the public. I ain't doing anything wrong, people. Judge, I'm not doing anything wrong. Justice Lee. All right. So, Dahlia, I need you now. I need you for the dramatic readings. So, does anyone have any good info on the identity of the alleged Liberal Party Parliament House rapist who now has a job based in Sydney? Any info, please send them through. My DMs are open. If info proves to be correct, happy to publish name of this fellow who has been protected for years. He's going to be right here. I have work for you, darling. I have work. And then February 17th, we now have confirmed the identity of the alleged Liberal Party rapist, and we will publish a story naming this bloke as resigning from his job for a so-called security breach, which is all a matter of fact already. It's a matter of fact already. Okay, and I'll be publishing the name of the anonymous Liberal Party advisor at True Crime Weekly within the next hour. True Crime Weekly sounds very like a very upstanding publication, doesn't it? The story will only be available for subscribers. Only for subscribers, people. Why would you subscribe? Because I'm a single poverty-stricken writer who takes great risks to bring this to the public. Takes great risks.
Sorry, lunch did not agree with me.
Lunch didn't agree with you.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Did you cop up a hairball?
Yeah. You caught me.
I caught you. All right. Okay, you can read this one, the big one there.
The bottom?
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
Yeah, the bottom.
Once considered a liberal rising star, Bruce Lehrmann is now accused of being the senior advisor who resigned over a so-called security breach, which ended with a woman traumatized inside Parliament. Link. Yep. Subscribe.
Okay, moving on. Right, so there is the link. In fact, there's no point in reading that, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually go to the exhibit in a minute. That's just an ad. There we go. You can read that one for me there by this man here. So, At the Last, the Face of.
Dennis?
This one. Yep. Yeah,
at least the face of Linda Reynolds' favorite. About time he felt some heat.
Keep going, please.
Well done, Sircon. It is not up to some random blogger to name the guy. This is a gross additional assault on the victim. If she wants him named publicly, she would have done it. If she can't for legal reasons, neither can you.
Well, I got to agree with that one, actually. To be honest with you, that's not too bad of an idea. Keep going. Hang on, I might just make this a little larger so people can see.
Sircon, apparently releasing the name of the alleged rapist can affect a court trial, which might reduce Britney's chances of getting justice. Are you 1000% plus sure this is the guy? And does this help Britney? Because that's the most important thing of all. What an excellent way to compromise any chance of a future prosecution.
Yes. But this guy seems to have some actually fairly smart people following him. Used to work for George Brandis, now a Queensland lobbyist. Okay, great, good for you. Aren't you a sleuth? All right, hang on, I'll just zoom out a bit. Nothing there. Okay, empty page. Go away. Empty page, empty page, empty page, empty page. This scroll. Okay. Back to my presentation. I have more linky links in there somewhere. You're right.
No, Beal.
Maybe we need that. Are you doing Beal's ooh sound, are you?
Hey.
I think Beal's trying to get a link. You can see that there is there's dramatic reasons going on, and he's like, I want in on that. Okay, also articles. Let's have a look at these articles. Oh no. Okay, so these include an article by True Crime Weekly titled Unmasked for the First Time After 2 Years, Meet the Liberal Party Toff at the centre of the alleged Parliament House security breach, which left young women traumatised, etc. Do I have that? Just one moment, people. I thought I had a link going to that, and if I don't, I can get it in about 2 seconds flat. Okay, so
How's Chad?
How's chat going? Is there anything better than a dramatic reading? No, there's not much. There's very little that you can compare to a dramatic reading. Indeed, I must say that it is assets PDF file. It's very difficult to get back to the main directory on these things.
Hate it when
Like
that
you need
happens.
to, yeah, it keeps saying that you're forbidden, and then you have to. Okay, let me just see. Sal Bington, would you mind trying to find the just the list of exhibits for me for a second?
I don't know how I would do that.
I'll send you the link. I'll just send you the link. It's all right, got it. Got it. True. Crime Weekly News, got it. Got it. Alrighty, let's have a look at this. Yeah. So this is what they're talking about, this thing. This is one of there's a couple of articles that came out around this time, because the testimony is that once the two major articles of the mainstream media were put out in February of 2021, and the one that is the subject of the lawsuit, being the project TV interview, came out. There were online sleuths that were trying to unearth his name. This is one of the exhibits, and it's this one, unmasked for the first time after 2 years. Meet the Liberal Party, 12th at centre of alleged Parliament House security breach, which left a young woman traumatised. And there is our friend Bruce. Picture of him, quite young there at the time. And there is the fella that you were just talking about, Dali, and the tweets that were just being referred to were talking about this article. So February 17th, so you can see it's only 2 days later. 2 days after the TV interview, his name was exposed online by this true
What a
crime.
coincidence.
Oh, yeah. So it didn't take very long, did it?
Mm-mm.
Didn't take very long for these sleuths to find out what his name was, to track him down. Would you like to do just a little quick dramatic reading of just this part here? It's
sadly just the latest example of sexual violence, abuse, and cover-ups that we now expect of the establishment in Australia.
Yeah.
Apparently I can do an Aussie accent.
Sure, go for your life.
A junior, not really. I don't know. I was surprised I could even do Australia.
Australia.
A junior Liberal Party staffer, just weeks into her dream job, gets targeted by a more senior colleague during a work-related social outing and plied with alcohol before being taken back to a quiet office in the wee early hours and raped while partly unconscious.
Josie's being entertained. Right. So it's saying, yeah, what's that? Oh my God. Okay, this is not related, but can you please read this? The red
That
one.
oh, hold on to your ponytails. Anti-gay Ellen PMP George Christensen and his Filipina fiance with the sexy lesbian past to the member for Manila met while allegedly trawling sex bars in the Philippines.
You know what? We need to subscribe to this just
Yeah.
because oh my God. Look at all the things in here. This is just wow. Okay. I need to just do a stream just on this whole thing. Like look at what's going on in here. Okay, so hang on. What else is there? Uh what's this about bolos? Interviews that sizzle. We ask a personal boundary crossing question to guests who we barely know as we put them on a mother flippin' grill. Interviews that sizzle. Okay. Brisbane Bolo Bash. Bowling clubs become a thing of the Aussie past. Do you know what a bolo is?
Yeah, is it a bowling club? Where you go
But like
bowling?
no, not bowling as in 10-pin bowling. It's
Oh.
like lawn bowls.
Oh. Huh.
You ever heard of lawn
Mm,
bowls?
I don't think so.
No?
Like
Okay.
croquet or
Kind of like that. But
okay.
anyway, this is yeah, wow. Okay. And there's another one there. I don't need your permission. How a tipple with Shiraz at Canberra Bar gave Sam a Maiden News Corp exclusive on Bruce Lehrmann's alleged, at least they said alleged, Parliament House rape against survivor Brittany Higgins. Wow. Okay. This is 2 days later. Is that right? It's 15th, 17th of February. Yes, it is. It's 2 days later. Wow. That really is quite amazing. Well, you got to give it to them. They were fast.
Mm.
They are sleuths.
Yeah. Well,
That's
4chan could have done it better.
Who's Porchan?
4chan, you haven't heard of them?
No,
They're like
no,
an
tell me.
internet shit posting group, really offensive, but they love pranks and to troll people. So
Yeah.
like they can like locate anybody in like hours, and they go all out. They're autistic and nerds, but they also like, you know how the OK sign is considered racist?
Oh, someone told me that. Yeah.
Well, that's because 4chan started posting that it was racist, and
Right,
everybody
right.
fell for it.
Okay.
They just made it up.
I see. I see. Right. Now, someone told me it was it meant stick it up your bum or something in some state of America. And I was like, okay, I'll be careful of that. Anyway, moving back on to this, and I'm going to try and make it look nice again because it's annoying me that it doesn't look nice on the screen. Oh, look, it's got these black lines again. It's very annoying.
Don't be racist.
I'm a graphic designer. I like everything to be so. Anyway, so Lehrmann's barrister, Stephen Wybrow, then took him through a number of tweets and articles. Oh, we did that. We just did that in detail. So Lehrmann then said, when I was removed from these groups, the administrators would highlight in the Facebook Messenger app that I'd been removed. It's very sad when you get removed from messenger groups and things. I gotta say, that means it feels like you're being cancelled. Poor Bruce. Then the media furor after that, and being named on social media, and people were looking me up, posting things on Twitter. It was getting quite disgusting. And yeah, it was pretty quick. You can see it was pretty quick. I thought it was a bit later than that, but no. All right, further plaintiff testimony. So Lehrmann went on to recall the events of the night in question. He stated he left Parliament House with friend Austin Winky. His name's Austin Winky. Now, I thought it was Wanky, but when when he's questioned all along, and both counsels keep referring to this friend of his as Mr. Winky. I'm sorry, I giggle every time I hear it, Mr. Winky. You bought a drink for Mr. Winky?
Do you want to kiss Mr. Winky?
Yeah, Mr. Winky.
You want to see Mr. Winky?
Yeah, I see Mr. Winky. So his friend is Mr. Winky, right? So, sorry, I'm like 12. No, it is not a jury trial, and I got to tell you, Josie, like, it's a good thing it's not a jury trial, because I think it's very smart that it's not a jury trial. There's a lot of things that are being said that absolutely could be very swaying of a jury, and it's a lot of emotional stuff, right? It's a lot of very emotional stuff, and the balance. This has to be weighed on the balance of probabilities, right? So it's not something that it's not beyond the balance. It's not beyond reasonable doubt. So it's not like they have to be convinced so much.
Yeah.
They only have to be convinced so much. And with all this sort of emotional testimony, I feel like a judge has to be, and this judge is very learned, and there's so much very intricate legal argument going on. This is absolutely the right choice. So, for example, when his counsel, the plaintiff's counsel, was talking about the accuser having put forth different versions of her story, and how she may how victims can also sometimes fabricate. Oh, that wouldn't have been a good look in front of a jury. That would not have been a good look in front of a jury. So, oh, Bobby.
Oh,
If I tell you I want to know about EU streams and it doesn't tell me about EU streams, well, there's live alerts, Bobby. There's live alerts on the Discord. Have you not got them set up? Do you have a choice between a judge or a jury? I believe so. Good question. I think that your counsel has when you are going forth as a plaintiff, that is something that you can put forth. And I think I'm gonna have to go and check with my lawyer friends about that. But as far as I'm aware, yes. But good question. And that's why we are here on the Making Law Simple Network, because those of us here who are not lawyers, we don't just go yes, no, and then make stuff up. All right. Moving on. So he left Parliament House with his friend, Mr. Winky, on the afternoon of March 22, 2019. He was carrying his personal and work mobile phones and his wallet when he went to the dock. Now, that is the dock where they are there. Oh, Sarah, look, I let you in just a moment ago. Can you please wait? You muted those, Bobby? MLS Discord can't hurt your brain. There's something wrong with it then. That's the case. Wonderful. And he recalls staying at the dock until midnight before suggesting the group goes elsewhere. All right, moving on. Now, continued. He went to another pub called 88 miles per hour. I do like this club. I do like the fact that it's called 88 miles per hour. I really like the DeLorean and the 88 miles per hour reference. My brother used to have a DeLorean with an 88 miles per hour license plate. That's very rare here. Very rare. Yeah, of course. And because you have to get them imported and also get them converted to different, like, because it's the driver's thing is on the wrong side. So you have to get them converted.
You can do that?
Yeah, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and also it drove like a piece of crap. Oh my god.
Well, because you made it on the wrong side of the road.
They don't drive very well anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't exactly a
Okay.
muscle car. You want a DeLorean real bad? Yeah, they're a showpiece, really. And they're so hard to get into. You got to like dive down into them.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, yes. So he went.
I
You know,
dated a girl like that.
it's the 80s in car form. I know, like they're cool. It's just they don't drive that well. He went to another pub called 8 miles per hour with Higgins, Winky, and another colleague called Lauren Gang. He spent about $24 on dinner, only bought drinks for Mr. Winky and himself, spending a total of $80 that night, but said it was very possible others had bought drinks for him. Okay, so this is all on direct, right? And just keep this all in mind because this is over the next couple of days, he gets absolutely ripped to shreds over these details. Yeah. On questioning from his lawyer about the reason for the outing, Lehrmann stated, "From my recollection, it was an invite from Miss Higgins to me." Now, at the end of day one, it was quite strange. Network 10 hires a lip reading expert and puts this forth to the court. Now, Dr. Matthew Collins, KC, which is King's Counsel, by the way, used to be Queen's Counsel, but then yeah, we lost our Queenie. And it became King's Counsel, which is nowhere near as cool sounding. Used to be QC, which was great. Yeah, so Dr. Matthew Collins, who wrote the book on Australian defamation law, by the way, he's a big find for Network 10, revealed that his team had enlisted the services of an expert to examine the CCT footage from the dock. He expressed surprise that this had not been done previously. Really? Really? Afterwards, we might go and sweep together. Did you say sweep? I meant sleep. Thought you said sleep. No sweep. Remember that episode of the Seinfeld?
Oh yeah.
She can read lips. No. This blows my mind, right? This part just blows my mind. I'm like, okay, you have the most learned counsel and he's bringing forth a lip reading expert? Really?
Yeah.
To analyze CCTV footage, which is super low resolution from a distance, and that's going to be admissible?
Yeah.
What? And then, okay, we chose an expert from the UK who had no familiarity with Ms. Higgins or Mr. Lehrmann. So? What? Okay, I'm confused. And then Justice Lee says he wasn't sure whether he could accept the evidence. Really? You're not sure? Okay, with my limited lip reading skills, we just have to take it as it comes. But I understand the point you're making. Look, I haven't seen this come up again yet, but I think that might mean he's gonna maybe let it in, or because the thing is that because it's a bench trial, like the justice gets to decide like whether or not he is going to take it into account or not. So it's not like the jury gets to hear it and has to then unhear it. But yeah, I find this whole lip reading thing very, very odd. I would be like, yeah, right. But what do I know? So day one, gone. And day two. So basically, that was ever since day one, that was the end of the other witnesses. And since then, Mr. Lehrmann has been up on the stand, and at first, at the beginning of day 2, he was still being direct. He was still under direct testimony. So the day's testimony began with discussion about the decision to leave the 88 miles per hour bar. Lehrmann said he had expressed his desire to leave the bar after midnight, stating he had had enough and wanted to go home. He explained that he returned to Parliament House on the night of Higgins' alleged rape in order to retrieve his keys. He didn't have his keys. From memory, the group, this is him, from memory, the group decided that they would also then leave, so we headed upstairs to facilitate all of us going about getting home, he said. Once I indicated I had to go get my keys at Parliament before going home, Ms. Higgins indicated she had to go to Parliament. I was ordering my Uber and offered her a lift in the Uber. Bad decision. That changed everything, didn't it? Hello, Cat. Yeah, I know. Look, don't pull everything out, right? Like, just don't pull the cords out. What are you on about? Hey, David. Hey, David Nelson. How's it going? QE2 was better. Oh, like, so much better. Okay. Bruce Lehrmann said Brittany Higgins was perfectly fine on the evening. She alleges she was raped and did not appear to be overly intoxicated. So I misspoke the other day. I thought that there was no argument at all as to the fact that she was very, very intoxicated when they got to Parliament House. But apparently his testimony is that he thought she was fine or not overly intoxicated. I mean, clearly they'd been out drinking, but he didn't think she was too bad, apparently. So he told the court he did not observe Miss Higgins stumbling or falling after they left the pub in the early hours of March 23, 2019. All right, so, I don't want you to just play without me giving you, stop it. Okay, so the CCTV footage from Parliament House is played to the court, showing the two handing their IDs to security officers as both had forgotten their passes. And Mr. Lehrmann said the officers did not interrogate his purpose for being there in Parliament House so late. That typically never occurs, he says. So let's have another look at the security footage, shall we? There they are, walking in. And she's not stumbling.
No. Are you playing music?
It's the video.
I didn't know if it was me.
Because this is from 7 News Spotlight.
All right, let's do some jazzy music.
Yeah. They walk down the hall. The security officer lets them into this room on the left. And I've not seen any further footage past this. They walk down that way. And then Lehrmann is shown leaving alone at 2:34 a.m. Okay, so Lehrmann said he spent 30 minutes in Parliament House annotating briefs for question time on the night of the alleged incident. You guys have question time, you would, wouldn't you, in your Parliament?
Question time?
Yeah, so it's like when the politicians are all in session.
Oh, yeah. They all have like a few minutes to ask questions of somebody.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, so
I think they are.
that's a similar thing. So
Oh,
They,
capital type thing.
yeah,
Similar to
so
Parliament.
he's an administrator, so he is preparing because his boss is the defense minister. So he is putting notes together. And apparently, earlier in the night, there were some people at that dinner who were talking about. In fact, it's here. The court heard Lehrmann was having conversations with various defense staffers that night at the Dock Hotel about Linda Reynolds' intention to transfer the production of French submarines to Western Australia.
Mm.
So that's why he's saying that he wanted to take notes about that.
Mm.
Based on the conversations that I had at the dock, I took it upon myself to make some notes whilst it was fresh in my mind against various briefs in these folders, he said. I was heavily focused on the submarine issue, given the political sensitivity at the time. Lehrmann said he entered the office through the double doors behind Higgins. He marked where his desk was and drew a line across the plan to show his route, indicating where he believes he and Higgins split off from each other. This is in court, right? So obviously I've got no vision of this to show. Lehrmann said the attempts of 10 to get... okay, so just moving on a little bit. So just backtracking. He's saying that on that night, he went one way, she went another way. He went to his office, did some work on some notes for question time. He didn't know what happened with her. And he went home. 2:34 a.m., you saw him swiping out, right? Her story, obviously, very, very different, okay? Now, later on, obviously, she goes to the press and tells a different story, and the story comes out in the press. Now, the next bit of testimony is about whether or not the press came and asked him about the allegations. Lehrmann said the attempts of 10 to get in contact with him were weak, considering he had various social media accounts under his name. They're incredibly weak, particularly given what was publicly known and available, he said. He said the phone numbers 10 tried to contact him on were not numbers he had used in over 2 years since he had left Parliament. Also on direct, Lehrmann states, the project interview completely destroyed me. Losing friends, finances, certain sections of my family haven't bothered to contact me. It's fractured large parts of my life. Mr. Lehrmann's evidence-in-chief concluded at lunch break on day 2, and he would undergo cross-examination after lunch. Right, so you have a parliament, do you? I don't know, Bobby. I don't know anything about your system there. If they show up for work. All right, so they broke for lunch on our Thursday, and then after lunch, there was an exhibit shown, and that was Lisa Wilkinson's Logie speech, which caused the delay of Bruce Lehrmann's ACT Supreme Court Great Trial. It was played in full, and in the speech, Wilkinson praised Miss Higgins for her unwavering courage. Yes, and that was quite controversial, obviously. Oh, right, it's called Congress instead of Parliament in the USA, David Dawson, right, of course. So maybe Dali would have understood a little bit more what I was talking about if I said Congress.
Yeah.
Right, so do you have question time in Congress, I suppose? And that's just where each side can ask questions of one another.
Yep.
We call it question time because there's questions. Now, this man here on the right is the one I was talking about, the guy who wrote the book on defamation law in Australia. And he's a bit of a gun. You don't want to get in front of him on a bad day. And right, so day 2 starts, day 2, middle of the day, his cross-examination of Lehrmann begins. And he really goes to town on him, and he's been going to town on him ever since, pretty much.
Pound town.
Yeah, pound town. And guys, seriously, get in there, get into that live stream as soon as it starts and watch him, because this man is a serious, serious attack dog. He is so worth watching.
Lehrmann may have to take a pregnancy test after he's done.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's several times the judge has asked whether or not Lehrmann needs to stop, and even this guy even sometimes says, do you need to ask the court whether or not you need to stop questioning, and it's almost like a bit condescending.
It's such a passive aggressive dick move.
It is. It's passive aggressive.
It's like acting like he can't handle himself.
Yeah, can you not handle yourself? Yeah. Are you? Do you need to?
Are you okay?
Yeah, like, are you
need a
okay
tissue?
there? Like, yeah, kind of, yeah. Do you need to just go have a little cry or something? Like,
Yeah.
Wow. Kat, stop it. Right? Do you need me to let you out? Because if I let you out, you're going to want to come back in. Yeah. Okay. Lehrmann was challenged on inconsistencies with his stories. Dr. Collins grilled Lehrmann over the presence of alcohol in Senator Reynolds' office. Mr. Lehrmann said it was common practice for ministerial staffers to have a drink in the office, but said he did not recall Minister Reynolds' office being an office that would ordinarily do that. Dr. Collins put to Mr. Lehrmann, that there were bottles of wine above his desk and a fridge positioned near him. Now, here's the big deal, right? Lehrmann has changed his story, and it's a little bit of an Alex Murdoch kind of a situation, right? So he said at one point that he went back to his office to drink whiskey. And then he changed his story, and he said that he went back to his office to do some work. And then he got caught out, right? And he's since admitted that he lied about why he went back to his office. And the problem is that when you're caught lying about something, then it looks like you've been lying about everything. And this man here is absolutely pulling every little piece of what he has said apart, and then going and trying to pull apart things that happened earlier in the night and that Mr. Lehrmann has spoken about prior, and trying to make it look like, you know what, actually you lied about whether or not you bought Ms. Higgins drinks, whether or not you tried to crack onto her, whether or not you liked her and had a crush on her earlier, etc. So, and there is a giant garbage truck out the front of my house. Sorry if you can hear that. And he's been extremely good at that over the last few days. So that's where this is heading. Dr. Collins said Mr. Lehrmann kept bottles of whiskey in Senator Reynolds' office. In that office, I would have had them still in my box, he said, referring to a moving box from his old office. Dr. Collins continued this line of questioning over the fact he told the Australian Federal Police that there was no alcohol in Minister Reynolds' office as at 23rd of March 2019. You were asked a question to the best of your knowledge or your recollection that there was no alcohol back there, Dr. Collins said. Your answer was, yeah, no. To my knowledge, no. Such an Australian thing to say. Yeah, nah. Does that sound familiar to you, darling?
Yes.
Yeah,
Just a little.
Who says that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, nah. The court was played a portion of the Australian Federal Police interview in which Mr. Lehrmann said, I didn't have any alcohol in my office. I was mistaken, Mr. Lehrmann told the court after the interview was played. Dr. Collins said, when did you realize it was false, Mr. Lehrmann? Mr. Lehrmann said, I don't know. I'm sorry. Dr. Collins said, was it before your criminal trial? Mr. Lehrmann said, I can't recall. Later in the cross-examination, Dr. Collins said, "You knew it was false at the time you gave the answer." Mr. Lehrmann said, "I disagree." Dr. Collins said, "You knew it was false at the time of your criminal trial." Mr. Lehrmann said, "I disagree." Dr. Collins said, "You allowed the statement to go uncorrected." Mr. Lehrmann said, "I disagree." And this just went on, right? On. Dr. Collins put to Lehrmann that on March 15, 2019, around 9:30 p.m., he left the event with Miss Higgins and tried to kiss her. "As you were saying goodbye to Miss Higgins, you leant into her and tried to kiss her on the lips," he said. Mr. Lehrmann replied, "Absolutely not." Dr. Collins, "And Miss Higgins rebuffed you by waving you away and saying no." And then he said, "I can't recall." So this is where things are starting to get a little bit uncomfortable. Just a bit. Dr. Collins also put to Lehrmann that he told 2 other friends at the event that he found Miss Higgins attractive. This is starting to get a little bit high school now. All right, so you said to Miss Hamer in the presence of Mr. Wotton, "Message her." Collins said, "That is, message her and see if she's free to come to the pub." Mr. Lehrmann replied, "I don't recall that happening." What is this? I mean, really? Like, we're going back to before the event and him saying, "Oh, is she cute? Can you message her for me?" And he's like, "Look, I don't remember that happening. Did you say she was cute? Did she?" All right, that's the end of day 2. He left day 2 pretty grumpy, I say. Like, he pretty much ran out of that courtroom at the end of day 2. Day 3, and we're pretty close to done here. So Dr. Collins, and what I'm going to show you, he had his way with Bruce. It was pretty tough to watch, and I'm going to show you a news article now.
I just got a feeling.
Yeah. Where are we? There we go. Here. So this article came out on day 3. I'll just zoom it up a bit more. Hang on, why can't I make it bigger over there? Silly thing.
Gosh.
Oh, that's better. Okay. So, I love the way they use the word confessed. So, Bruce Lehrmann has confessed to buying Brittany Higgins 2 alcoholic drinks on the night of her alleged rape, but stopped short of admitting he intentionally tried to get her drunk, knocking back accusations that he touched her thighs and pashed her in a nightclub. Hello, I'm Bronze. How's it going? Do you guys use the word pashed?
Pashed?
Pashed.
No.
It means it's short for passionately kissed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there you go. You're learning something.
Get an edgy an Aussie education.
It is. You're learning all sorts of things. So yeah,
I know.
pashed. Yeah. So it's amazing. Like, this is so part of our vernacular that it comes up in court, right? So and we don't even have to explain it. It's like pashed is just a term, right? So yeah. So he denied. He knocked back accusations that he touched her thighs and pashed her in a nightclub. Pashed. Hello, Daniel D. Yep. Coming in late, but I'm learning something today. Yes, you are. Right. So he denied that. Mr. Lehrmann denied in court on Friday that he was ever disciplined by then Defence Industries Minister Linda Reynolds over a heated discussion he had with colleagues 3 weeks before the alleged assault, relating to him pressuring Ms. Higgins to stay for a drink after Senator Reynolds' swearing-in ceremony. Mr. Lehrmann is suing Network 10, blah, 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 blah. We know about that. Now, he was cross-examined by 10's barrister Matthew Collins KC for a second day on Friday and grilled over conversations he had with Ms. Higgins at the Dock Hotel in Canberra before going to Parliament House with Ms. Higgins, where she alleged she was raped. The court was shown CCTV footage of Ms. Higgins, Mr. Lehrmann, and other staffers drinking and eating potato chips and pizza around a crowded table at the popular venue on March 22, 2019. Mr. Lehrmann previously testified that he had bought drinks for only himself and fellow Liberal staffer Austin Winkie, and said his interactions with Ms. Higgins that night were minimal. Dr. Collins suggested to Mr. Lehrmann that his interactions with Ms. Higgins were not minimal, and said he had bought her 2 vodka drinks throughout the course of the night. 2. Mr. Lehrmann initially said, "I don't recall buying her 2 vodkas." He later said he was happy to be corrected. "It's very hard to recall specifically, I'm sorry," he said, and later, "I'm being very careful not to give definitive answers because my mind is blank at the moment." Justice Michael Lee eventually intervened, offering a 15-minute break for Mr. Lehrmann to get his thoughts in order. So this is how bad it was, right? He was being hammered by Dr. Collins. Dr. Collins was like, "Do you remember this? Do you remember that? You said that you didn't buy her this. You said that you had minimal interactions, blah, 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 blah. Boom, 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 boom."
Yeah.
And you can imagine this was a night out drinking and having food
Yeah.
with colleagues 4 years ago.
Of course, he's not going to remember how many shots he
Well,
or who he bought shots for.
Well, if you actually even look at the footage, it's him and his friends talking, going back and forth, and like, I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Right? But he's also had to recount this so many times now that it's likely that he is going to trip up and make a mistake and say something different. It's likely. And if you're going to look at it kind of like the Alex Murdoch situation, and you go, okay, so if he's lied about that, then he's lying about everything, then that doesn't mean that he necessarily shot his wife and child, right? So it doesn't put him at that place with that weapon in his hands, yes? It just doesn't. And in this situation, it's not a beyond reasonable doubt criteria. It's a balance of probabilities criteria. So, unfortunately, people are seeing this as a de facto rape trial. They just are, because there will not be a criminal trial now. There just won't be. It's very, very worrying. So, following the break, Mr. Lehrmann black-flipped on his previous evidence, admitting to giving a false testimony and saying he had bought Miss Higgins drinks that night. You remember going to the bar with Miss Higgins, don't you, and ordering on 2 separate occasions a drink for her and a drink for you, Dr. Collins said. Mr. Lehrmann said he had become aware of having bought alcohol from Miss Higgins after having reviewed CCTV footage from the dock and apologized for giving false evidence. "I was wrong," he said. "Oh, no. That's a photo of Lisa Wilkinson in a leprechaun outfit. So let's just move on."
Sexy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay. The other thing I just wanted to show whilst we are looking at that is that this link here, 10 Inquisitor operates with surgical precision. I thought this was a really interesting link. So this is talking actually about the counsel in question, this man here, and just the fact that he is, wow, what a lawyer. So yeah, Bruce Lehrmann was having a bad day on Friday as his credibility was peeled away with surgical precision by Network 10's relentless inquisitor, Matt Collins, KC. Doc hammered him about hammering her. On the third day of his defamation case against the TV network and presenter Lisa Wilkinson, the former Liberal staffer again had to admit giving false evidence, this time over his previous denials that he had bought Brittany Higgins drinks on the night he allegedly groped her. "I've refreshed my memory," he said, after asking for a break in proceedings. Eventually, yeah, he did ask for a break. "I do recall having some time with Miss Higgins up at the bar where I did buy a drink. It may have been a small comfort for Lehrmann knowing that next week Higgins would be sitting in the same seat getting similar treatment." Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he's a vindictive type. I'm not sure. Maybe after all this, maybe. Don't know. If I were him, I think I would feel far more vindictive towards the media. So that's just me. Okay, back to this. So Lehrmann admitted to buying Higgins drinks that night. She was allegedly great. Despite previous testimony, he'd only bought drinks for himself and another colleague. He denied having a third credit card undisclosed to the courts used to buy himself and Ms. Higgins drinks. And he denied attempting to get Higgins drunk and telling her to drink it all now, referring to a spirits-based drink. So that was put to him and he denied it. Also on cross, he denied kissing or touching Higgins at the 88 miles per hour nightclub. He also denied seeing her fall over or helping her back up. He denied ever having sex with her. He denied being disciplined by his boss, Linda Reynolds, over a heated discussion he had with two colleagues about Higgins. He said he had serious concerns over the way ACT Chief Justice Lucy McCallum presided over his criminal trial. So that was the lady or the justice who dismissed the trial over juror misconduct. All in all, day 3 was not a great day on the stand for Mr. Lehrmann. Not a great day at all. You can see he's not looking that happy there. He never looks that happy, but who would be?
Yeah.
Oops. And that suit didn't make things any better. What were you thinking, lady?
It does not suit her.
No. What are you thinking? Okay, Daniel D. There was a criminal trial in October last year, and what happened was the jury went in to deliberate, and then the jury was dismissed because of juror misconduct, and the judge presiding then set a new trial date for February this year. But unfortunately, what happened was the accuser was found to be mentally unwell, and the prosecutor decided to throw out the charges, and there was no further trial set. So the charges were dismissed. So there will be no further criminal trial. Since that date, there has been actually some words from the accused. He has spoken to the media and tried to put forth his side of the story. And yes, unfortunately, though, he will never, ever have his day in criminal court to be found guilty or not guilty. So really, a lot of people are seeing this defamation case as sort of, I said, a de facto criminal trial. So his chance to sit be found guilty or guilty, not guilty, which is a bit of a shame in my eyes because the standard of proof is far, far lower. Yes. Now, further, I need to post some links. Very important because there are some things that people can look at to find out far more about this. I went to a ton of effort and made a background video about this. And I posted it yesterday. It took me quite a while to post it because I was having all sorts of trouble getting a decent resolution version of it to post. Let me just see. Patience, people. Patience while I get my thing together. And yeah, I looked everywhere, guys, and I could not find a simple place to find for people to sort of do a background bit of research on this case. So, like, the best way to deep dive it, I found, was looking at the 7 News Spotlight interview. And I will post it's a 2-part documentary, and I will post that. But I wanted something that was just really nice and short and able to be disseminated, and just like a timeline, 20, 30 minutes, you can see what's happened over the last couple of years in this case. So I made that yesterday. Okay, Kat. I made that yesterday and I posted it on my channel. So please do have a look at that. I'm just getting the link. Dali, can you entertain people for a moment while I get it?
Yes.
Yes.
I am. How's chat doing? Hella's trying to figure stuff out. I am going to. We're trying to figure out make time to do the Rittenhouse trial soon, but we haven't really planned it yet. There's some open to stream quite a bit over Christmas or the week after
do some
Christmas.
grifting.
So we'll do some stuff then. I still have the George Zimmerman stream. I may be changing that to after Jody. I don't know yet. But then I need to find another spot for my boy Jensen. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
Your boy Jensen.
Yeah, there's so much going on right now. So I'm trying to
there really is a lot going on right now. There really is a lot going on right now. It's a bit tricky to keep up with it. So, okay, so Lehrmann case, a quick graphical timeline. There we go. There we go. Quick graphical timeline and a snapshot. Okay, so that's that. Rightio. And also, I wanted to send. We've already put up the link for the court feed today, haven't we? We should do that again. Let's do it again. So everyone, let's just talk about the court feed. So it's on the Federal Court of Australia YouTube, and it's only available from what time is it now? It's 8:30 Sydney time, and so it will start in about an hour from now, and it will run for about 6 hours after that. So it's only available live. You can't replay it. Get yourself onto there and set yourself up to be watching it. You can't replay it. You have to watch it live. I can't tell you that enough, but goodness me, it's worth watching. So I'm just going to put the link up for that now. There it is. Okay. Link to today's court feed. There it is. Cool. And the other thing I wanted to just post was this for those interested in the background. Okay, so I've also got 7 News Spotlight, Bruce Breaks His Silence Part 1, and Bruce Breaks His Silence Trial and Error Part 2. So that also shows you if you especially Part 1, there is all of the audio tapes of Miss Wilkinson and Miss Higgins and other parties of the media talking at length about how they're going to break this story. And it's crazy actually to hear them talking about how they're going to all bring this information to light on the same day, the 15th of February 2021. And how they don't need to name his name in order for this to come to light, how they can best destroy him. I think that's the words that Higgins used. Yeah, it's pretty unsettling, but there's a lot of stuff comes to light that was released in June 2023 after the criminal trial was unsuccessful, or unsuccessful, yes, when it was dismissed. It was dismissed in October of 2022, and then in June 2023, that's when this expose was released. So, and yeah, when those tapes suddenly were unearthed. So yeah, very interesting stuff. So lots of information there to deep dive. Do get yourself on to the court feed. Keep up with my channel here. I'm hoping to see more people as the days go on, and also you can replay. Now, what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'll do a recap of yesterday, which was Monday, and then the day after I'll do a recap of today, etc., etc. So that's why we'll be all caught up. Get it? Love my puns. And if you want to talk about this with me, or keep up with sort of background things, and make sure that you are on the Making Law Simple network Discord. So just want to pop that one up now. So I have a special channel in there where I'm popping links of interest, and there's discussion, chitty chat, etc. So as people who follow me know, I'm part of the Making Law Simple network group, and we have a Discord, and it's really wonderful. Dali's part of it as well. We have lots of other great creators, and David from Making Law Simple, he is the wonderful person who facilitates that, and very good for people who are small creators like myself, and we don't have the ability to provide perks to our subscribers just yet. Where is the link? The linky link. Josie, do you have that one? Are you still here? One day I'm going to be giant creator, and I'm going to have like 50 mods will go, yay. I got it. Or I'll just have it sitting here, right here, and I'll be so organized. One day I'm going to be organized. One day. Sean, yay. Thank you for your support, Sean. It's really nice to see you here. It's nice to see all of you. I absolutely am so thankful for every single one of you. There we go. I'm thankful for everybody that's here. And I was saying to, where was I? I was on Aussie's chat yesterday, and he had 100 people in chat, and that was it was more than usual, I think. And he was like, I can't believe there's 100 people here. And he said, I'm not like big or something like cricketer and that. And I like, you know what? People don't understand. It's not all about how many subscribers. It's not all about how many watch numbers and things like that. It's about quality. And over time, it comes back to you. What you put out there comes back to you eventually. And I find that, like, even if I don't have that many people like here, like live with me, it comes back eventually.
Yeah.
The numbers come back eventually. And I appreciate just like there's 9 people here right now. I appreciate every single one of you right here. All of your support. Absolutely. There's 9 people who could be bothered to spend their time with me right now. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you live. Yeah, it's nice to see you here, Laura, because you're often doing rewatch. So it's good to see that you're catching our live. What's this? Aussie is the 3rd largest YouTube channel I subscribe to from the Melbourne area. Is that true? There you go. Yeah, he's done really well for himself, and I'm so happy for him. And it's nice of him to give me shout outs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It's this time of day for me. I'm competing with a lot of different streamers right now.
The Young Thug was really good today.
Yeah, and I would actually like Nick's invited both of us to be on that panel.
Yeah, I might go pop on.
Yeah, I might go pop on there shortly too. But yeah, it's tricky because like I like to be on different panels as well, and I'm trying to cover this at a time when both Australians and Americans can see it. But then again, also I know that I'm competing with a lot of different people, and unfortunately, I can't show the case, which is sad. But that said, I'm really hoping to bring some interest to this case and get more people following it. So yeah. The unsigned trial should be dismissed. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of a case of, well, we've spent so much time and money on it already, then they'd look a bit silly if they dismissed it now. There'd be like an outcry, wouldn't there? Yeah. But yeah, I might I have a meeting, but then I might pop on there for a bit and say hi to everybody. But yeah, definitely pop on to Nick's. Nick is wonderful too. He is a great friend of ours. Everyone's friends in this community, aren't they? It's really nice. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Dali, thank you for your help with the dramatic readings.
My pleasure.
And you mean mistrial? Dismissed mistrial? Yeah, I know.
Same thing. I mean,
Your cat just jumped on you too. Thanks to you, Sal. Daniel, you're great. Thank you for your support. Please like and share and subscribe if you're not already, and please spread the word about this trial, because once you have a look at the actual live feed of this, you will get obsessed with this thing. I'm not kidding. I am watching this thing all the time. Finally, my mum and I can watch a trial together.
Yeah.
It's like she's just like, she calls me up and she's like, "Are you watching it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching it." She's like, "Oh my God." Yeah. She's like, "This guy's so mean." She's talking about Dr.
The
Collins.
attorney.
But he's good, isn't he? Like that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He's a dick,
yeah.
but wow, he's effective.
Oh, he's a dick, but wow. I'm like,
But he's
I'm
not.
like,
He's being condescending without like appearing too condescending. Like
yeah,
the
and
Anthony Fauci known prosecutor for Jodi Arias. He
yeah,
was
yeah,
just a dick.
yeah. And
Like, ma'am,
Lemon
did
is
I
just
ask you about
dying.
that? No. But
Yeah,
this guy's just,
you can just see Lemon. He's just like dying in his seat.
yeah.
He's just
And
like, can this end? Please, can this end?
this, yeah, it's a really, without commenting on either side who's guilty or
Yeah.
liable, he's just a fantastic lawyer.
He is, to watch this man operate is, it's a joy to watch. It really is.
Yeah.
So
Just in the little I've
it's,
seen, he's one of the best.
yeah, it's really crazy. So seriously, guys, get in there and watch it. It starts in about an hour and a bit. So, and it's you guys' nighttime, so you can sort of, hang out
3:30
and
my time,
chill,
or
and
4:15. Yeah.
afternoon, yeah, you can chill in the evening and sit and watch
Yeah,
something
and
different from a
maybe we can
different
talk about it
country.
in Discord if you guys are watching and just comment
Yeah,
along.
we can chat in Discord about it.
Like, can't do a watch party, but
No, I
no,
suppose
better
not.
not. No.
No, we can't do that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have
Right.
a fantastic day, and I'll say goodbye now. It's been wonderful. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow for day 4 wrap up.